In Hellraiser 1, Clive Barker showed you his vision of a private hell. In Hellraiser 2, he took you on a journey inside the Inferno. Now, the terror returns in mankind's final confrontation with evil.
Jesus Christ!
Not quite.
And this time, it's going to be hell on Earth. Clive Barker presents Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
Now, we talk sensibly.
In the first movie, we saw Pinhead as a force, a demon raised from hell because of the solving of a puzzle box. In the second movie, we discovered something about the man that he had been before he had become Pinhead, the human being who had done the deal with the devil and had become this soul-gathering monster as a consequence. At the end of that movie, the two halves of Pinhead, the human half and the monster that he had become, were driven apart. And as our third picture begins, the husk of Pinhead, the thing which is the monster, which has no moral qualms whatsoever any longer, is free on the earth. And that's a fairly terrifying thought.
The terror begins in New York City as a club owner buys an unusual piece of sculpture, only to find there is someone living inside.
Jesus Christ!
Not quite.
Pinhead is back. The monster that has become an international phenomenon has returned. And once again, the man who is behind the Pinhead mask is actor Doug Bradley.
This film is driven by the question of how Pinhead is reincarnated and what happens once he is. And what happens once he is this time is that we meet a Pinhead who is freed from the rules, the laws, and the constraints of the configuration. And he's, well, hell on earth suggests that he's out here, he's on the streets, and this is a more sinister and a more glibly malevolent character who this time is prepared to and does get his hands dirty.
Shall we begin?
B.J. Rack, co-producer of Terminator 2, collaborated to produce the awesome special effects in Hellraiser 3. Fans who enjoyed Hellraiser 1 and 2 will not be disappointed as Bob Keane and his Image Animation team return with some staggering special effects and an outrageous group of brand new Cenobites.
A Cenobite can be just about anything that our imagination can cook up. In the third picture, we're actually creating not one, but a whole host of Cenobites there. We've got a slew of creatures. And that's sort of fun because it means that the audience is going to have the central image, the central device of Pinhead there to give them pleasure, and a little pain, of course. But they're also going to have a new army, a sort of dirty half dozen of Cenobites to surprise them.
Hot groups like Armored Saint, Soup Dragons, Material Issue, Electric Love Hogs, and Tin Machine make this soundtrack Hellraiser's best. When Motorhead recorded the hit single Hellraiser, they asked Clive Barker to direct.
From Clive Barker and Dimension Films comes the most terrifying Hellraiser yet.